Call this Board of Supervisors meeting to order of December 15th, 2020. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Bronson?
Here.
Supervisor Christie?
Here.
Supervisor Miller?
Here.
Supervisor Villegas?
Here.
Chairman Valadez?
Present.
Let the record reflect that all members are present. Supervisors Christie and Miller are participating remotely.
All right, we will go ahead and do a moment of silence, after which I will offer the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone, please stand for a moment of silence. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You haven't called the republic? All right, we'll move to call to the public, and I have several cards. For those of you who have... Oh, changes to the agenda. Yes, thank you. We do have one change to the agenda, and that's page 6, item 21, hearing modification, substantial change of rezoning conditions. The applicant requests that the item be withdrawn from the agenda. And I believe we have several speakers on the phone on item number 21 who may wish to postpone their comments as that item is now been withdrawn from the agenda. So without objection, those will be the changes to the agenda. All right, for those of you who haven't been here before, you have 3 minutes. I'll just ask you to identify yourself by first and last name, and then you'll have 3 minutes. First, Katarina Quinta, please.
My name is Katarina Quinta. It is a pleasure to be here and speak. I would like to thank Steve Christie, Allie Miller, as well as Sharon Bronson for standing behind our athletes and giving us the support we need. I am not only here today to be a voice for our athletes, but I'm here to fight for our students across Tucson. This has become more than a fight for our sports. This has become a fight for the mental well-being of our youth. Our teens are once again being overlooked. Our adults in power always want to help after the fact. You are so quick to provide mental health services, yet are silent when we ask for the help to give us the help we need to prevent it from getting to that point. 67%. From ages 12 to 17, there has been a 67% increase in suicides. Why is something as serious as suicide and depression falling on deaf ears? This is a real problem. Depression isn't us students looking for an excuse to be lazy and not show up to our online classes. Depression is the feeling of defeat. Depression is a prison we don't see a way out of. Depression is the absence of hope, of motivation, of purpose. Depression is a thief. Parents are watching their children slip away. Parents are in fear of whether or not their child will be depression's next victim. I'm in fear. Not only am I watching my brothers and sisters slowly go under, but I'm watching myself go under as well. And it's a battle. It's a battle, and we're tired of it. Parents, students, and teachers, we're tired of it all. We're tired of teaching ourselves from home. We're tired of being isolated behind a screen for hours. We're tired of waking up to another notification of our peer losing their own battle. We're tired of our sports, education, and mental health being politicized. I don't want my brother, sister, or student to be just another name of remembrance because they lost their battle. This room would be overfilled with parents and students if they weren't so tired, if they didn't feel so defeated, if they had hope in working with Pima County towards a solution. We need our schools open. We need our sports. These are our safe spaces, our outlets, our second home. For some, it's our only family. For some, it's a second family. For seniors, this is their pathway to the next chapter of their lives. As elected officials, you are here because the community entrusted you to make tough decisions, the type of decisions parents will remember when it comes time to re-elect. Sorry, I already said that. Pima County, stop giving us false hope. A solution needs to be found. I'm tired, but I will not go away quietly. I will fight with everything I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Andrew Skeggs. Mr. Skeggs?
Good morning. My name is Andrew Skeggs. I'm a parent of AJ Skeggs, a senior at Sabino High School, Jackson Skeggs, a freshman at Sabino High School. In a world of uncertainty and fear of COVID-19, what is your outlet? Stress levels are at an all-time high and tensions tight. We all need an outlet. We have had many life experiences dealing with stressful situations, and no doubt these situations we have faced throughout our lives make teenagers missing football seem pale in comparison. It is not. 2020 has been a year I will never forget and has caused an unbelievable amount of pain to myself and my family. The most stressful year of my 45 years of life. I pray none of us experience anything like this again, and I'm sure you feel the same. Imagine having the most difficult, stressful year of your life as a teenager. With all the other struggles a teenager deals with in a normal year, magnified by the direct and indirect effects of COVID, they need an outlet. Football, interscholastics, is their outlet. The socialization in schools is non-existent. Instead, sitting in front of a computer screen for hours at a time, I can't even do this as an adult. What would the teenage version of yourself have done? Would you have turned to crime? Would you have turned to drugs? How would your mental health be? How would your parents have reacted? How is the mental health of these children now? Mental health is real and is more of a risk than COVID is to these teenagers. Teenagers will recover from COVID, but a behavioral health emergency is fatal. Football and interscholastics is more than that. These teenagers truly are safer in more ways than one playing football or interscholastics. Please, I urge you to reconsider and allow us to play 4 games in January and February. Give them their outlet back. High school football is not the reason for the spike. The ripple effect of shutting them down will have far worse effects than the 0 cases our team experienced and the greater than 99% recovery rate. When you do write your memo, letting them play, please use the same strong language that you used to shut them down, and use that same strong language to let them play. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Skeggs. Next, I call, I believe it's Paula Walton. All right, Walton, sorry, it's just all the letters are.
Before my 3 minutes starts, I just want to say that
Please come up and identify yourself for the record.
my name is Paula Walton, but before you start my clock, I just want to say that I don't appreciate the looking down at computers, and it appears to be that some people are not listening to us speak, and I really, would appreciate us being heard by everyone and not just half heard. So.
Thank you.
So my name is Paula Walton. I was here on December 1st advocating for high school football, but after research, I'm advocating for all kids in all sports. As our football players watch basketball, soccer, and wrestling start to practice, how do you think it makes them feel that you shut down their football season, a season that would have been completed this Friday? I'm not mentioning these sports to get them shut down. I'm mentioning them because I think it is important for them to play. And I'm saying this because I'm saying that football has not been treated fairly. Hopefully whatever political issues were going on between the health department and the school districts, hopefully that is gone and set down, because I feel like, and a lot of parents, I'm hearing it, all of the 400 parents that I listen to on the gridiron, I am hearing political. Lots of parents feel that way. So whatever issues were going on, I hope they're done, because kids should not come into play in political adult issues. Please make this wrong a right. I haven't seen or heard any memo going to the school superintendents to allow our football players to practice in anticipation of completing our season at the beginning of next year. I know you have a lot on your plate, but these kids need you now. As I mentioned earlier, all kids in all sports playing is what I'm advocating for. The kids are taking a hard hit from the regulations you put into place, along with the rules and regulations of schools and teachers who are refusing to go back to full-time in-person teaching. We've got increased suicide, increased anxiety, increased depression, increase in failing grades. I've heard the stories, trust me. Since I started this, I cannot tell you how many parents have come to me and I have been an ear to them as they watch their children decline in their homes. So all of you are making decisions through the very narrow lens of COVID. You are not treating the whole person in our community. Your lens is very narrow. And I realize you guys get pressure from the public on this. I realize that. But our schools are not super spreaders per the CDC, and as 9 months of data, we know that's not true. Our kids need to be playing sports. They need to be going to in-class full-time. How many kids are hungry right now? How many kids are unable to escape their abusive homes or have their abuse recognized? How many kids are falling through the cracks right now? If healthcare workers are essential, so are teachers. If other businesses are open, so should schools. As I've researched, I'm absolutely disappointed with this board, the health department, the school districts, and the teachers. You are failing our children. To be locking down our schools again is wrong on so many levels. When COVID starts to fade away and vanishes from our headlines, the kids who committed suicide will still be dead. The mental health issues that took a hold of our young minds will probably last for years to come. And the abused child that was not rescued will have a lifetime of terrible memories. Please start taking into consideration the whole kid and not just through the lens of COVID. And I don't speak from ignorance at this point. I have studied it. At this point, I know that the COVID cases are rising, but I know that the death rates are not rising in the percentages that they were this summer. I understand also that if beds become short in hospitals, you can stop elective surgeries. I am closing up. That you can shut down elective surgeries, open up more beds, because I saw it in the hospital when I was there this spring and summer. So please do the right thing. Start treating the whole person and stop the narrow lens of COVID, okay?
Thank you, Ms. Walton. Next will be Drew Heaton, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm Drew Heaton. I once stood here and warned this body that we were on the cusp of a revolution for health and human rights. That the Mayor Romero recall is fast approaching 10,000 signatures in the middle of a social lockdown is evidence that despite this building and parking lot being mostly empty, the public has lost confidence in government, including this body. Much of what I have to say has already been said, but its importance demands repeating. Never in the history of medicine have asymptomatic people been diagnosed as a clinical case of anything. Arguing the increase in cases to justify anything is like arguing whether the bus Rosa Parks is sitting on should be painted blue or red. It's irrelevant. Never in the history have healthy people been quarantined. The proper legal term for that is house arrest. On April 3rd, the National Vital Statistics System changed the way deaths are recorded to reflect a bias towards COVID-19. That is the reason my friend who died in a car accident could be diagnosed as a COVID death. It doesn't matter if the head of CDC, the governor, or the president of the United States endorses it, it's morally wrong. C.S. Lewis rightly said, of all tyrannies, a tyranny sincerely exercised for the good of its victims may be the most oppressive. It would be better to live under robber barons than omnipotent moral busybodies. The robber baron's cruelty may sometimes sleep. His cupidity may at some point be satiated, but those who torment us for our own good will torment us without end, for they do so with the approval of their own conscience. They may be more likely to go to heaven, yet at the same time likelier to make hell on earth. This very kindness stings with intolerable insult. To be cured against one's will and curative states, which we may not regard as disease, is to be put on a level of those who have not yet reached the age of reason or those who never will, to be classed with infants, imbeciles, and domestic animals. It has been suggested that the severity of the pandemic is what authorizes enforcement of this draconian state for victimless crimes. Reason should instruct every person here that it is unreasonable to believe a disease is so deadly that you have to test to know if you have it. It is unreasonable to believe that a vaccine is effective that doesn't stop transmission. I don't need months of observational data to know that certain vaccines in use now don't do that. Vaccine manufacturers have zero liability, and injuries for these new vaccines don't fall under the current already poor compensation program. It is misleading to tell people the only thing that is increased is manufacturing of the vaccine. FDA approved and FDA emergency use authorization is not the same. The latter makes these products experimental by definition. Does the public know they are part of an experiment? If that's what they want, so be it. But saying otherwise is untruthful. C.S. Lewis also said, "We all want progress, but progress means getting near to the place where we want to be. And if you have taken a wrong turn, then going forward does not get you any nearer. If you are on the wrong road, progress means doing an about turn and walking back to the right road. And in that case, the man, Mr. Huckleberry, who turns back soonest is the most progressive man." I'm praying for you. There's nothing progressive about refusing to admit a mistake. And I think that if you look at the present state of the world, it's pretty plain that humanity has been making some big mistakes. We're on the wrong road. Going back is the quickest way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Heaton. Next is Peter Norquest.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Peter Norquest. I'm going to continue with my talk from the one I did 2 weeks ago on the case-demic, starting with a few facts. The median COVID-19 infection fatality rate is estimated at about 0.27%, that of a moderate flu. The average age of the deceased who tested positive is around 81 years, and this is skewed toward people with severe pre-existing illness. COVID-19 is thus a disease that makes some people sick, proves fatal to a few, and does nothing to the rest, comparable to an annual flu. Contrast this with some of these facts, which have also already been mentioned today. Suicide rates in Pima County in 2020, minors aged 12 to 17 increased by 67%, and those by adults aged 50 to 59 by 56%. Drug and alcohol abuse is on the rise, and overdose fatalities will increase by as much as 20% by the end of this year. Business closures, 48% of businesses are in danger of permanent closure. Many people have been unemployed for so long that they are no longer eligible to receive benefits. Quality of life is being seriously impacted, with heart attacks and strokes on the rise, and loneliness and isolation affecting everyone, but the elderly in particular. Children are being impacted through mental and psychological stress, educational deficits, and increased domestic violence. We are currently experiencing the following very worrying signs of authoritarianism: enforced conformity of the media and media-fueled hysteria, defamation and denunciation of those with dissenting views and censorship of freedom of expression, arbitrary political decisions leading to massive restriction on fundamental rights, and dangerous human experimentation in the form of rewritten safety regulations and standards, as well as novel vaccines, really gene therapy, with a minimal and very spotty testing record. So, for your consideration, here are 15 signs that you might be in an abusive relationship from the Workplace Mental Health Institute. 1, stop you from seeing friends and family. 2, won't let you out without permission. 3, tell you what to wear. 4, control your finances or won't let you work. 5, control what you read, watch, and say. 6, monitor your phone and email. 7, monitor everything you do. 8, punish you for breaking the rules, but the rules keep changing. 9, don't allow you to question. 10, tell you it's for your own good and that they know better. 11, tell you you're crazy and that nobody agrees with you. 12, gaslight you, challenge your memory of events, make you doubt yourself. 13, dismiss your opinions. 14, call you names or shame you for being stupid or selfish. And finally, 15, play the victim. If things go wrong, it's all your fault. So what's going on here? Current policy is dramatically out of step with objective reality of our actual situation. Are we being manipulated, and if so, why? Why are the health, safety, and well-being of the citizenry being sacrificed in order to line the pockets of pharmaceutical companies who are exempt from vaccine liability and institute a system of control which we would usually ascribe to authoritarian governments?
Please conclude your comments.
The fact that this is occurring on a global scale should be especially troubling. Thank you
sir.
for your time.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board of call to the public? Hearing none, then we are done with call to the public. Chair will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Then we'll return to the sound of the gavel and conclusion of executive session.